This is SeeUs.TV, featuring interviews with various guests as we discuss interesting topics and upcoming events. And also join us as we visit public and social gatherings throughout the Pacific Northwest when SeeUs.TV is out and about. Welcome to this episode of SeeUs.TV.
Hi, that's Gloria. We're not sure why she's here yet. Gloria, speak up. This is a television show, got sound. Go.
Okay.
Now,
Wally.
Gloria, now.
Our next guest is Wally.
Hi.
Kuz'n Wally. And we had to start off with the giggles because that's exactly what it's like every time I'm around you.
Well,
Wally.
it is what it is. You got people like Leah. By the way, Leah Cook. She is Hawaiian. She's related to Captain Cook, who was our first luau. Now, this is her boyfriend, Johnny Valentine. She didn't bring the picture because she was afraid to, so I brought it out for you. Got you covered, babe. Okay, now what else were we talking about?
Wally's good.
He's been around, no, but he's been around a while.
For a long time.
I didn't realize he was
Bruno.
Peter's, yeah.
Bruno's.
Peter what? Hernandez.
Peter Hernandez.
I didn't realize he was Peter's uncle.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I met Peter, he was fronting for the Love Notes with his dad. And I think Johnny was part of that. But Johnny also used to be with, correct me if I'm wrong, the Fabulous Crush, was it? He was with another group as well, I think. I may be wrong, but
all of them have been with some other group of one.
Yeah.
Of one or another.
Because that resurgence of the Elvis thing was so big in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Jonathan Von Braun in the Beachcomber at that time doing Aloha from Hawaii tribute. And he was pretty good because he was married to Marilyn Monroe. So, he's 6'7" and she's 5'7"?
Yeah.
Great couple. They're the nicest people. But, Bruno does sneak in and out. He's your typical local boy. Tell him he cannot go somewhere, and that's where he's going to show up.
Uh-huh.
Just remember that for the next
Tell him, can you contact him and say he must not go to Kalama Heritage Festival?
Yeah, he cannot. Okay.
He cannot.
Because you got to bring the boat in.
Okay.
And the canoes last year,
yeah,
they had a hard time pushing against the wind, so we need some Bruno power.
Okay, now,
Bruno power.
out of fairness, now, the canoe was being paddled or pulled.
Mostly Wahine, right?
But they were young kids.
Yeah.
They were the third generation of the Kalama family.
If you don't know where we're going with this is the Kalama Festival, which I have been a part of for a couple years, just got back recently. And I waited until they built that big, nice hotel with the bar before I came back.
What do you want to say, the host?
Popped out. When I first did it, they pitched a tent in the back, and we had our festival. Now, this is how bad it was. And she'll
It wasn't so bad.
Bad meaning it was where we could share what Aloha was about. Over there, I don't know if they see it on the wall, but they have Aloha all around here. But the people in Kalama certainly showed us Aloha that year. It was raining. That's okay. We're still having a luau.
Yep.
Dig the imu in the rain. That's okay. We're still having a luau.
Wet umbrellas over it.
Festival, beautiful day, all dried out, wonderful. But we're still having a luau. Open the imu. We know we're having a luau. We got the plates ready. We got all the food ready. The imu is opening, and we discover what? Oh, wait, no more tables. No tables anywhere except out in the field. So I asked all my cousins. I have plenty of cousins in Kalama. I asked them if they wanted to eat today. They said yes, they had tickets. I said, good. Give your tickets to your significant other and come with me. We need to gather all those tables and bring it here. And by the way, the ones you bring here, you have to take back before you leave. Every single one of those tables was picked up, placed where we needed it. They all helped out. Now, to me, that's what a luau was. That's how we did it in Kaneohe growing up. Your family made the lomi. Your family made the haupia. You guys cleaned up. I was always on the cleanup committee because sometimes auntie and uncle so drunk, they tip you. So you always pick up all the plates. And those days, no more plastic bags, so you got to carry the plates more. They feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes get 50 cents. But yeah, but that's what the luau was about. And Kalama brought that back when they showed that kind of aloha, that kind of willingness to jump in and get her done.
Yeah.
You know, it's a Hawaiian thing, that get her done thing. You don't see us sweat, right?
No.
Group effort. Have the group go do it. Then you don't sweat. Eh? Find a group, let them do it. I have Leah, she's my driver.
Yeah, I know. And
I don't own a car, but I have a driver in this town.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she tells me I can go relax in her car, get air conditioning. Never impressed me. The shiatsu massage and the heated chair in the car. Now that impressed me. She can be my driver anytime. But the Kalama Festival coming up again June, right?
I can't guarantee your accommodations like that. I just don't know. That was a one-time shot. It could be a
Bill,
second
did you
time
check
shot.
my contract? Bill, did you?
We haven't made this arrangement yet with your
Aren't you
driver.
the president or something?
So,
Huh?
so
We got people here. We got people.
We'll work it out.
You know, we have a good time. You got a great crew. Props to the Kalama High School football team and cheerleading squad.
yeah.
Props to them. They all learned to say Kalama properly. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Yes, they do say
And
Kalama.
they were like the blondest Hawaiians I ever saw in my life. They were up there working. They did everything that we asked. You know, especially the heavy jobs, because I always ask if people need help, I send the girls. All of a sudden, the men don't need that much help. Up went the tent. But yeah, come down to Kalama Festival. But before that, we have a lot of other things happening. And part of that is your restaurant here.
Yes,
And we should be opening really soon, right?
very soon. And
Because
it's
I'm hungry right now and the damn thing not ready.
almost. Hey, you know what? It's being put together by
Yeah, but you
local
cannot send
Hawaiians.
a Hawaiian into a restaurant and they got all that spam sitting right there. Cases of spam.
Oh,
For
and
the
rice.
musubi.
Bags. of
Cannot find the rice, but got the rice cooker. What's up with that?
We get plenty nori.
I know, but we got to talk about that nori.
Okay.
You know, spam musubi, for those of you who don't know, it's a brick of rice, which is actually in half. You have the spam that's cooked in a teriyaki sauce, a little furikake, and you wrap it in the seaweed, the nori. Now, white folks got a hold of this,
Okay.
and they decided the nori was too expensive. So they had the Japanese people make perforated lines in the nori, which is the one you got.
Okay.
That's for make the smaller musubi, because it's strips of nori. So there's a trick to this, folks. You can use the whole thing, but you got to get the big musubi maker and lay the perforated cuts this way, long ways. That way, when you roll your nori, it'll all stick, and then when you cut it in half to your 2 blocks, it'll work. If you do it the
never
other way,
noticed
all
that.
the rice gonna fall out. Poho.
No
Throw it.
more musubi.
Yeah, your dollar savings what worth it. But anyway, that's your musubi. She said she wanted a cooking show, she wanted entertainment, she wanted information. What else you wanted? Okay, go.
We cannot take you anywhere. Actually, we are going to take you everywhere with us
Yes.
because you have proved your worth.
But, you know, everybody has a story, and I love pulling those stories out of them.
Yeah.
You know, I had a lot of stories with Leah, then I found out she was married, so I scrapped the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw her husband, he big.
He's a
So
big man.
Yeah, scrap that.
He can look at you mean. That's all he has
He
to do.
don't even have
and-
to look at me. Leah, you say. But I met a lot of people like, you know, Kalama, it's like a small town that's just growing up. They just kind of like
Population is only 1,800 people at Kalama. Only
1800.
1,800.
Wait, go back into Inquiring Minds Want to Know. Back in, I think it was 1967, 68, there should be a front page picture of the world's largest family reunion. It was taken in Kaneohe at St. Anne's Church, number 2, because the first one went, you know, power already, 100 years got to go.
Yeah, okay.
So they stood on the steeple to take a picture of the parking lot of the 1,700 first and second cousins I had at that time.
Kalama.
So 1,800 people, easy.
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 Easy. And so, you know, when Kalama has us coming to town, They know we're coming because we just take over.
Yeah. But that's good because businesses fill up, and that's always important.
Did you hear?
What?
Okay. They have now, right along the Columbia River.
Columbia River.
Right where McMiniman's
Yeah.
hotel. They now have a beachfront.
Yeah, they were building it, yeah.
Sandy, right in front of there. So now you can go from your hotel right onto the beach, sandy beach.
Look at me. The water is still cold. I don't care if you have sand in front of that water. It's cold.
Okay, but we get sand. We get
I
sand.
don't care. Cold sand is just like cold sand. No, it's nice. It's a beautiful beach. Take your bikinis and go to the beach. Take your blanket.
Bikinis with you can wear the long johns. Not the long johns for eating.
We go to the beach to look at bikinis, not at long johns. Jeez. Where were you raised?
Well, we we still wear our
no,
slippers.
I get it, yeah.
But we wear socks with our slippers up here.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Okay.
That's how you can tell if they're Samoan or Hawaiian, depending on the color socks before they put their flip-flops on. Now, the real tough ones have the flip-flops with the toe, in the middle. Yeah. The Millennium flip-flop is the one the whole foot goes inside.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They're not so good.
Not so good.
Not so good, no.
Okay.
Hard to run.
Okay.
Because, when you run, people in Hawaii only know this. Your toes are like vice grips when you run in slippers. You never lose your slippers. Your toes hold on to those slippers. Ask anybody who had to run away. And you can always upgrade. You upgrade when you go to somebody's house. Everybody take your shoes off, right? Yeah. That's so shopping on the way out is a lot better. Upgrade. Take the one you like. In fact, take the one that fits. And this protocol. Did you know this protocol to taking your slippers off?
No, I didn't.
Absolutely.
Please share.
It's so that you can walk in, okay? So those of you who are dumb enough to leave your slippers in the middle of the walkway because you took your shoes off, when you find your shoes on the telephone pole, on the tree, it's because the protocol is we need to walk in there. So put your slippers on the side. You put your slippers on the side when you come out, guarantee still there. It's only that middle aisle. Disappears. Have wings.
I wonder.
There's protocol to everything.
Yeah, I had no idea that had something to do with the.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I started that trend long time ago.
Did you?
Old people can do that. We start the trends and we tell them that's how it used to be. Okay, so now we're in this store. I don't know if you talked to people about this store yet.
Oh,
Did you?
No, we were giving this cousin talk story with cousin.
Yeah, because I'm just introduced to this store. So they have pahu drums, they have tueres, they have musical equipment all in here. All for you. All for you. Just come. That's what you wanted, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I did good. Actually, I'm looking forward to this because, everywhere I traveled, everybody says the same thing. We wish we had a Polynesian village. We wish we had somewhere where the islanders could gather and sell their wares. We wish. You have a store here, a store there. This, you have the opportunity to actually make it happen.
Well, we have plenty of artists and authors and musicians that they need to have a place where their items are being seen here.
Right.
And the idea with the cafe, it's a talking cafe. It's a place where people can grab and go. They don't have to hang out here.
When you break bread with somebody, all the honesty comes out. So when you're in a cafe talking story, chances are you're not lying. It's a good story. It's a true story. It's an interesting story. So we hang out in cafes all the time.
Yes.
At home, we call them lunch wagons. We sit outside under the tree, right? The lunch wagon.
Poor trucks.
Manapua trucks, all of that. Here it's really too cold to do that. We inside.
We come inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is having more talk story by plenty folks because, really, as far as conversations, we live in a world.
But wait a minute. I talked to Santa Claus today. Catch that.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus and his chick.
Oh.
Yep, Santa Claus got a chick. Just saying, you got to stay tuned because I hear they're going to come here. Something was really off about this Santa Claus, though.
Kind of naughty? Or
No,
nice?
kind of really naughty. I kind of like that. You know, he reminded me of that unfiltered Santa. It's like what the girl was saying earlier. What was her name? Kalia.
Yeah.
She said about, you know, the puppies talking to you, the puppy, you know, they have this attitude like when I call our puppy, whose name is Pake, not Chinese, it's spelled with an H for class, P-A-H-K-E. He wants to make sure that I did that right. Pake is a Shih Tzu. Shih Tzus think they're king. Shih Tzu sits on my shoulder and because he has to be up above everybody.
Okay.
So I come home and I say, come, Paki, come here. He'll come. Make a right-hand turn, go down the street here and sit. He's not going to listen to me. And he has that look of, you want me, you come get me. And that's the connection with that puppy that you really want. They talk to you like, hey, stupid, I'm hungry. He always says that. And he doesn't know where he keeps his toys, but when it's time for a treat, all of a sudden he looks so smart. This is the connection, Kalia, wants you have with your puppies. Right? I hope. Because that's what we have with our dogs, you know? They kind of... No, you never adopt a dog. The dog kind of adopts you.
Well...
They come to you and they... Oh, pow. They own you. That's the puppy.
Well, some puppies, like Orion, he did pay attention. You say, we want a cookie? And yes. Well, you sits. He gets his cookie. He's a good dog.
You can say that in Hawaiian. You're showing him a cookie, he's going to sit down. You can say it in Norwegian. You can say it any language.
I was trying to impress you with the fact that, you know, dogs...
I'm born the year of the horse. You cannot impress you're the horse with the dog. It's not happening.
Well, in Talk Story Times, you have been sharing some stories, and you were fired 3 times by Don Hall.
Well,
what happened? How did that happen?
If I was fired 3 times, he had to hire me 4.
Okay, so what? Yes, he kept having you around.
No, with Don, it was good because when he fired me, he gives me this really good bonuses. I didn't have to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It wasn't severance pay. He said it was a bonus, which caught up with me 20 years later when I never paid taxes on it, but that's a whole different story.
Okay.
I got away with that one. They cleared me. I'm out of prison. But no, you know, as a sales representative, when sales are down, so is a salesman. When sales are up and they don't need you, the salesman's gone. They bring you back like during the United Airlines strike. And Don Ho is the only one that I know in the state of Hawaii did not cancel one single show because of his following. We made the minimum every single night throughout the entire United Airlines. Now, mind you, some hotels closed, some entertainment closed, a lot of places closed because of that strike. So he was quite the powerful guy. So when he laid me off, it's not like I wasn't around. I just didn't get a paycheck. I was still around. Because one thing these kids don't understand these days, when you got somebody like him, you have a decision to make. Do you want to make a lot of money in 2 years? Or would you like the longevity of 20 years and the amount of doors that name Don Ho opens? Well, I chose the latter. So from 1970-something till today, I still ride on Don Ho's coattails. I really do. Because he taught me a lot, whether it be backstage, front of the stage. Somebody told me just today that they interviewed Hoku Ho, Don's daughter, she's number 7 in the line. Don had 10 kids, but I think she's number 7. But, you know, she had such a great relationship with Don. But yet, in her later years, she's saying, well, I didn't know him that well. Well, that's because the daddy's always in the spotlight. What are you going to do? You know? But for me, Don was always there because I was always around his working lifestyle. And that was his life. I mean, what you saw on stage was what you got off stage. I mean, how many entertainers do you know that walk to work? He walks to work. He said it's easier that way. He can get out of the house too damn many kids and women. He said, that way if the show starts at 5, I can leave at 2. And the walk wasn't bad because he lived on the slopes of Diamond Head and he worked at the Holton Hawaiian Village. So, it was like a 2-mile walk. And really when he's walking and he's tired, who's going to say, no, I'm not going to drive you there? No. Wave his hand, somebody pick him up. I'm looking forward to going back to Waikiki though because lots has changed. Yeah.
No more the Hawaiian music along the
not like before.
Waikiki, like before.
Yeah.
You can go from hotel
to hotel. There was entertainment, and we're talking entertainment that you guys pay top dollar for today. That's the kind of entertainment was in these lounges. They were starting off. People you may have heard of, like the brothers Casimiro, before they became the brothers, were the Sunday Manoa.
Yeah.
The Society of Seven. Before they were the Society of Seven was the Fabulous Echoes. But they're all islanders, The Fabulous Crush had a ton of great voices. I believe, and Leah can correct me, I believe there was a couch member either in the SOS or Crush. Was it Crush? Tim. Yeah, Danny's kid brother, right? Danny's kid brother. Yeah. So there was a lot of talent out there, at that time. So we were lucky. Today, all the talent is going on cruise ships and to Japan. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which kind of interesting. Let's see how long that lasts.
And they come up here. They come up to the mainland.
And if we can get them on their routes up here, they'd be great to have, just to kick some concert out. I'd like to go back to the old, because they're doing this in Las Vegas now. It's called Up Close and Personal, which is like a talk story thing like we do. But it's with people who have creds, like the Wynn Resort. Steve Wynn brought in Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks and his guitar on the center of a stage. I think the seats were $250. And you could talk story, and he would play music like he was in. And I think that's a great idea. Las Vegas doesn't even have that anymore, where you have lounge acts that you can go in and not, not having to deal with things like Cirque du Soleil, who, gymnastics is fun. But I'm sorry, I've seen one leotard too many already. And as talented as they are, I know I can't do that, so once I've seen it, I've seen it. I'd like to see, I wish I was around during the days where local entertainers from home took it to a level like the Vegas entertainers, that one person on the stage, the microphone, and the band back of you, or the piano back of you. I would love to say, and you guys call in, write in to these people. I don't know if they have some kind of information network, but I would love to see someone like Robert Casimiro come up with just him, his microphone, and his piano. Maybe bring a dancer, and that's it. I'd love to talk to, because he has so much hidden information that is just a treasure trove of fun, laughter, and a lot of tears. I remember Bobby when he would meet Mahi Beamer at Andrews, because Mahi Beamer was so great at the piano bar. I see Robert the same way, if not better. I'd like to see that kind of stuff. Bobby Madero would be great doing that too. As Melvine does it on her YouTube thing, all these people, because their stories is what is missing with the millenniums who try to get into the business. As many as get in fail because they don't have, like we were talking before, the art of conversation. To me, every high school in the nation should require students to go through a arts class or a drama class or a theater class or an audiovisual class, something dealing with the public. Because every job you go out there for, you have to deal with the public. So why is it they take all of that out of our curriculum, out of our school system? Arts is the first one you need. You got, you know, fake it till you make it. That doesn't come in a book. That comes with real life experience, and that's what the kids, to me, are missing today. Put them in theater, they know how to communicate with people, one way or another. Whether it's throwing a hammer at them or just talking to them, one way or another, they're going to communicate. And I think they should bring back the arts. Physical education, John Kennedy said it best, and he was right. Look what happened to us now that there's no phys ed in the schools.
Yeah.
You know, when I was growing up, you could only get an extra large shirt. Now you can get 6X out of the same store. What's happening to us? I'm a double X petite, mind you. Got that right? Okay. Because they don't make shirts, and you know, I'm not racist, but white people, when they make shirts, they don't make them for the expensive lower chest the Hawaiians develop. So when you do that, I have to go to double X petite, because the chest size is about equal to the stomach size or even bigger. So, but yeah, nowadays shirts are larger. You can get the double X, triple X. Back in the day, you couldn't. You had them special made. And those days, all my shirts were made because I was in entertainment, as you were. You know, when you do a special show, you get a shirt. Great. I had 142 Aloha shirts, 15 pairs of white pants, and 12 pairs of white boots. That was my closet until I turned in my 30s. Then I got my job with Don Ho, and he says, "Boy, come work in shorts." Got rid of the white pants. I went to work for Hilo Hatties. And I would take, I had the opportunity to have one shirt of my size from every single print they made. So my collection grew again. But in those days, folks, the extra large shirts were like a double X petite. So it was worth my while. Nowadays, it doesn't really cut it that way. I don't know why. But yeah, so I love my Aloha shirts. I love it when people wear the older ones. You know, and mu'umu's like this one. This is typical of your Hilo Hatties rack. It really is one of those comfort ones where you can, ladies, this one, you wear it, you go in the shower, take it off, hang on the, yeah, go in the shower, take a shower, hang it on the hanger. Next morning, roll it up, pack it, ready to go. You can use it the next evening.
Love it. You don't have to iron.
That's what the mu'umu'u is.
Yes.
And please, olelo time, it's mu'umu'u. A mumu is a Hawaiian cow. Don't get them mixed up. Okay? Mu'umu'u. It's spelled M-U, Okina-U, M-U, Okina-U. You know why? We have olelo in the back there. That's why, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, our engineer is correcting me. He has these cards. Failed, pass. Oh, you see. But yeah. Oh.
So I take it that this is, you're following your next path of talking story with Kuz'n Wally.
You know, I've always done this since the 1980s when I was with KCCN. I always had this vision of talking stories with the elders because I was always the youngest person with the elders. So when I talk about people like George Naope, yeah, I was around George Naope when I was 8, 9 years old. So through the years, that's how I know him. So I've been really lucky that way, whether it transcends into doing interviews and keeping the history alive. I hope so. I hope that's our course. Because, you know, George, and I keep bringing up George because he keeps popping in my head. He better knock it off. He recorded a CD, and many of you don't know, but George was really one of the last of our living Hawaiian treasures, if I'm not mistaken. And he had a CD, if you can get it, it's George's show as he sings and speaks to the audience. And I think that's what we're missing in today's entertainers, the ability to communicate the hula through his voice, just as he's speaking it or he's introducing it. And then you hear the song being done by him. You know that particular emotion just would make you cry, broke your heart, sore, But that's all from the hula, and that's what George taught.
So we're talking about competitions, hula competitions worldwide. There are tons of competitions all around the world.
Japan has many. Mexico has them. All over the country. I speak on Las Vegas. We had them at one time, but as much as people want the competitions in Las Vegas, the casinos and hotels, they're not really that, they don't work with us well. They nickel and dime us to death. And, you know, when you do a competition, the main part is to make sure you have a good competition and you don't lose money. So when you have to struggle with hotels and food and venues, and it becomes difficult. So wherever they could have a competition, most times I see that they have a island connection within that hotel, casino, or venue. And that's what any of you want to do, something like that. You need to do that. Hook into somebody who works with a venue that holds 200 to 300 people. Start small and then build from there. See what it's like around here. I think over here, up close and personal kind of shows probably would work well. You know, competitions tend to bring in a couple of hundred, you know, just participants. So whether this area here can handle a competition, I don't know. I didn't see very many hotels and that kind of stuff. But competitions are good. It's a good camaraderie thing, but to me, it's not good for hula. And I speak on this as a non-hula person. I don't dance. I don't profess to be a dancer. I just think growing up, the people in my life did not compete until I joined up with people like Nani Hula Studio, which is in Kaneohe. People like Ke'olala Lani Hula Studio, which is the precursor to Aloha Diliri's halau. That was her mom's, and before that it was her sister's. So I come from halau that never really compete until probably, I would say 70, 71, something like that, when she won, when Aloha won the Miss Hula. You know, and for years.
She was the first one.
No, Aloha was not the first one.
One of the first.
She was the only one.
Oh.
And I use that question all the time during, and those of you who know me, I always use that, and nobody ever caught it. Aloha Deliri was the first and only Miss Hula. After that, every single one was called the Miss Aloha Hula. So when you talk about Aloha Deliri, she was in a class of her own. Now, she won the competition at a very young age. She was still in high school. At that moment in time, she and John Deliri had met at Castle High School. John, you know as COC, the fire knife dancer for Polynesian, no, from Paradise Cove, Luau, for over 100 years, I swear. And those were the days when you know, everybody, and I got lost in it too, because they always introduce it straight from Samoa, the Nifaafi, the Samoan fire knife dance from, well, it's not from Samoa. Threw me off. It was developed by a gentleman, I want to say Luetele, but he's from Orange County, California, or in that area, and he really was the one to develop what we know as the fire knife dance of today in California. I believe he also worked for Disney, but one of his first students was Kuiokalani Lee.
Really?
And I found the picture. There was a picture of Kui Lee in his fire knife thing, and this was in the late 50s.
Is that right?
As he had, well, for those of you who can't put it together yet, if you remember the songs I'll Remember You, Days of My Youth, One Paddle, Two Paddle, Lahaina Luna, all written by Kuiokalani Lee. That's why I speak on now, because everybody knew him as a songwriter, but he was a choreographer, he was a dancer, the first one to come out of Letuli's fire knife dancing thing. So when I met COC, John Deliri, now we're talking about the late 60s, so it developed, and my dad was one of the first people to cut the knives for a fire knife dancer, and it was for COC. So it was like, you don't know that's history until 50 years later, and you meet the guy who originated the fire knife dance, and you're like, now I can put the story together. Because I didn't know that. I bet all of you thought the fire knife dance come from some ancient ritual in Samoa. Google it. See what you find.
We'll need to do that because you
Google
know what?
it.
That's what we've been led to believe.
Mm-hmm. But then again, you know, we in Hawaii at that time were led to the trough on many things, whether it be abolishing our language for our own good, giving away our beachfront land for our own protection, things like that. You know, there's several things but we believed it. Now this generation, and we can, if I hope you don't mind, we'll step to Mauna Kea a little bit. I am so impressed with the youth of today in not only their kapu aloha, which is something new for me because I'd never heard the term, but I understand its meaning, and the knowledge and educated way in which they present themselves and the cause of the protectors of Mauna Kea. I think they're doing a great job. And it started with kids from 1970s, those kids who wanted to have Hawaiian language programs in their schools. They had to fight for it. They had to find the teachers. True story, in Castle High School, 1972, I'm told that 2 teachers from a World Studies class, they're going to the University of Hawaii this summer so they can come back as your Hawaiian Studies teachers. I about shot myself. These were 2 one was Miss Sugimura. She wore a beehive, drove a Cadillac. The other one's Tokunaga. She didn't wear a beehive, and she didn't drive a Cadillac. But they were like twins. They looked nothing alike, but they were like, we called them the twin cannons, because they would go down, walking like bulls down the hall. And these were our history teachers. Says, oh, Puting, they're going to learn Hawaiian now. But they did their course, and we as students, we were lucky enough that we were close to these teachers. We could talk to them so I brought Auntie Emma DeFries, I brought Auntie Kau'i Zurumeister, Auntie Mary Wong to Castle High School, and they helped with Hawaiian studies. They helped through our Alahui pageants. Thank you, Mr. Ron Bright, because without him, I probably wouldn't be here today. That's a whole program for another time. But yeah, I think competition is good. However, sometimes too much competition, not so good. So when we get back to the hula part, I like the sharing. I think the hula awana is a fabulous way to share your creativity. But sharing and competing is different. I think a lot of halau and their kumu go in as a sharing, and I think that's great. A lot of them go in as competition. Well, it is what it is. You know, it's a thriving business these days. We gotta keep that at the forefront too. It is a business that Hawaiians have. It is something that, you know, they feed their family on. It's something that they represent our culture with, and it's something that they continue to give. And for that, you can't fault them. You know, anybody who wants to perpetuate our culture, our language, our song, great. Because I don't understand Hawaiian music. I don't olelo. I don't. But like many of you out there, when you hear the song, you don't know why you're shedding a tear, but you are. You don't know why you're happy, but you are. That's the magic of Hawaiian music, you know. And to me, the more you want to share it, the better for us. The better for us. Now, everybody talks about Israel Kamakaviva Ole. Israel has been shared more since he's dead than when he was alive.
Yes.
What a master at the ukulele. What a master at just being able to read his crowd. Mm-hmm. You guys knew Skippy, the brother.
There's so
many don't know.
So many of our people that we can talk about and take on another program with all of them. Wally, I'm just so glad you came and decided
I like your pikake.
You like my pikake?
You guys saw her pikake?
Oh, I love that.
Look at that.
Thank you.
This is like, okay, remember, those of you who tourists, 1960s, they used to have the pikake leis, but each one had grooves on for the pedals. Remember those?
Yes.
And they strung it on a almost dental floss, but not dental floss. Forever worth it, right? Turned yellow, you threw it away? Stupid! You know how much they're worth now? Oh my God. It was like $300 a strand. And I threw it away. So I was just looking.
Oh, thank you so much. You know what? I wish we can continue talking on and on and on, but we are going to have you back again and again and again.
Okay, because I'm hungry.
I know you are. We are going to wrap it up then.
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll have more talk story time with Kuz'n Wally.
Next time, I hope we can be in the kitchen. Then we can eat and talk story.
Hey, we can trade our recipes.
No, I don't like trade. I just like eat.
Oh, like it.
Oh,
okay. Thank you so much, Wally, for coming by today and visiting with us.
My pleasure.
I'm Gloria with the SeeUs.TV Northwest. Come see us again. Aloha.